Hello everybody, welcome back to another Worldbox video. So today I found a world on the Steam Workshop that has a whole bunch of countries on the world map. And from what I understand, they have tried to give each country a reflective amount of population with the amount of population they have in the actual world. So what we're doing here is we are simulating a world war. We're seeing the countries all go to war simultaneously. World War III is breaking out right here. It's going crazy. You zoom in and it looks like India is taking out Pakistan over here, and Pakistan is almost gone already. And it looks like Syria only has one person left, like a whole bunch of warring in the Middle East right now. And obviously there's no keeping up with all of this. Like, look at all these wars happening simultaneously. And we're even having wars across the water. Like, it's not just ones that share borders. Brazil's just like, okay, let's go ahead and take out whatever they're trying to take out right now. And they've got the population to do it, so they'll probably win. And it looks like Russia's population has gone up a lot. So Russia, as far as this game is concerned, is in a extremely good spot, even with the population they had. And China just is continually losing people. But look at their army though. It's just a block of massive people. They could go take out every nearby nation simultaneously if they wanted to. Norway is actually playing a smart game. It looks like they got kicked off of their main starting area, but they actually got all the way down here to the Antarctic. Smart play by them, because they lost their main nation, but they still got 80 population, and they've got a pretty big chunk of land, even though it's not the nicest land ever. And it looks like Brazil was trying to take them over, but they just gave up. And Russia looks like it took over the land that used to be Pakistan over here, and just look how much the game lags when I zoom in on this, how dense everything is on this map. I think especially that is because China's over here, and their army is just massive. Ooh, looks like China and Russia are going to war, so Russia is losing people like crazy. Oh my gosh, but China's also losing people like crazy. It's going down. That's actual World War III. The superpowers are fighting and India's getting involved. China's gone. Russia took it. I think Russia is probably the #1 contender to actually win here, because look at how much land they've taken over. Brazil is another top contender. They've taken over a ton of land. And then there's Chad over here taking over a bunch of land. Congo also taking over a bunch of land. Chad's about to go out of business. They're about to be done. And Saudi Arabia is also doing well, but Russia is doing very, very well. Meanwhile, Australia has stayed pretty much the same the whole time. They're just chilling over here on their island. They got their natural defenses. No one really cares to go to war with them. No one really cares to do anything against them. They're not really going after anyone else. Oh, but now they are. They're starting to war. Russia's fighting. Looks like they are fighting with the United States right now. And honestly, it's like half the countries in the world are fighting with Russia right now. Anyone who has any extra people is just going after Russia. Turkey actually took over Europe, and then Congo has taken over most of Africa. They just took over the whole southern tip. Look how developed these guys are. Congo really taking over Africa. They got Saudi Arabia in the way now, and they have got Russia past that. Russia still looks like a top contender to win all of this. Canada ended up taking over Alaska. That's interesting, but Alaska does not look very inhabitable at the end of the day. And the same for most of Canada. And the United States, really, they've stayed mostly the same other than losing Alaska, and Alaska can only have like these 2 houses on it, so it's not a big deal as far as this map goes. And Brazil still has not kicked Argentina out of here, even though they have very few population. Saudi Arabia wants to take out Brazil. That is interesting. Ooh, Russia's going to war again. Who are they taking over this time? Like Taiwan, maybe? Looks like Vietnam is what they were taking out. They're just going after the free lunch, basically. Madagascar is doing extremely well. Now, if you know about Madagascar in real life, they're the last country you would assume to do well. And they're doing well because they have taken over the Antarctic. It's very hard for anyone to come and attack them here. They have to go through the water. And they've just got a large strip of land over here they can just keep. Saudi Arabia and Russia are going to war, and it looks like Saudi Arabia is actually winning overall on population. So, ooh, wow, they completely made India uninhabited. Saudi Arabia is taking over Russia. The thing with being in the middle of the map, though, is they've got to worry about all these other nations right next to them. They took over Russia. I thought Russia was gonna win. Saudi Arabia just took them all over. Okay, now I'm gonna turn it off supersonic speed and turn it to 5 times instead. And now we can take a look at things. Laos is still around. They took over India. We can see that Saudi Arabia is looking to go to war, likely with Turkey Turkey or Congo. And then Mexico's still around, the United States still around, Canada. Brazil got taken over by Saudi Arabia. Argentina's still around. Madagascar is doing really well. And then you just have France over here. Like, France, what are you guys doing here? This isn't where you guys live, right? Like, how did you guys get over there? And then Jamaica's right here. Cuba is still around, but just one person left in Cuba. That does not mean to count them out, by the way. One person can reproduce in this game. Looks like Mexico, Canada, and the United States are all hopping on a boat to go somewhere. And Saudi Arabia was taking over a small country. Iceland is still around. Oh, they're not around anymore. They just got finished. So that's it for them. And Turkey actually took over Europe. Like, who would expect Turkey to be the one that takes over Europe, right? Australia, once again, still chilling. Their population is mostly the same. New Zealand, still chilling. They haven't really done much. Mostly the same. Marshall Islands, same deal. And Japan is actually uninhabited. They're just gone. Ooh, who's taking over Saudi Arabia here? Jamaica took over part of Saudi Arabia's land in South America. Now, Saudi Arabia is still a very powerful nation here, but they're on the other side of the planet. I like seeing all the ships go around. If we were to see how many ships were actually going around on planet Earth, though, it'd be so many more ships than this. And keep in mind here, there is actually this little spot right here where the boats go through, the Panama Canal. So I think this means they aren't connected at all by land. The United States has this little island over here, which the only thing interesting about it is why is there a king on this little island over here? How'd that end up happening? Okay, he's going across the ocean. Where are you putting him? Okay, he's going back to the mainland now. Saudi Arabia declaring peace. They don't really want to do this. Where Congo and Saudi Arabia fighting? Doesn't really look like it. What are they declaring peace on? Is it like a nation with 10 people? Well, as far as I can tell, there's actually 0 active wars right now, so I'm gonna speed it up until there's some more. Okay, Congo wants to go to war now. I'd assume that's with Saudi Arabia, but there is a lot more nations than just Saudi Arabia on the map right now. Let's see what happens. Once again, what is the US king doing? Why is he always on these ships going everywhere? What is happening? Congo's army is immense. Look at this. They got all these guys, they got all of these guys. It is huge. Yep, to war with Saudi Arabia. Here we go. Go, Congo, go. Actually, wait, no, Saudi Arabia and Congo teamed up to get rid of Turkey. They want to split up Europe. Wow, they didn't split up Europe, they made Europe uninhabited. And it looks like Saudi Arabia is gonna completely cut off Congo from taking over any of that land. There goes Turkey, and Laos is just over here chilling. They just took over India and all that other stuff, and they're just sitting here on 10 population. They're like, this is fine. Congo wants to go to war with Madagascar. Now, why would you want to go to war with Madagascar? Did they like say something nasty about your mother? They're all the way on the other side of the planet. They're kind of just sitting in the Antarctic, not really doing anything. And how are you even gonna get rid of them? Like, you gotta send people over on boats? They're just gonna get shot down every time they come over. Why is Wait. Why is Madagascar's king over in Saudi Arabia? You don't have any land over here. What are you doing? Look at him. Yeah, how are you gonna live from that army though? I know you're like a super strong dude, but there's like 1,000 people on you. What are you doing there? And Saudi Arabia is still teamed up with Congo, so they are just absolutely hammering this guy. There goes their king. What were they thinking? It was actually just a brutal assassination attempt. That's what was happening there. Okay, the war has ended. They tried to land ships on Madagascar's little area down here, but they weren't able to land a single unit down here. So it just is not happening. Finally, something is happening. The United States wants to declare war on Madagascar. How are you possibly going to take out Madagascar? Ooh, never mind. I'm wrong. They landed, people. They're making it. They're allied with Jamaica, it seems, and they are making distance. The United States is going after it now. Jamaica going after Madagascar makes sense. They're a lot closer physically. And it seems Madagascar is fighting them off, but not particularly well, and it is every major nation on this planet is attacking Madagascar here. And the United States now has a foothold in this area, along with some Jamaican troops, so they could absolutely take them out now. It should be easy. United States and Australia go to war. Now, I don't see how they think they're gonna do that, but the United States did go ahead, take out Madagascar. I guess Madagascar was allied with Australia, so that's why they're going to war with Australia. And it looks like Australia landed some troops down here, but they did not succeed in taking over this area. They did really destroy the houses, though. Now, what have we really learned about World War III? Well, what we have truly learned is go to the Marshall Islands. No one cares about the Marshall Islands. Everyone's going to leave the Marshall Islands alone. alone, if this Worldbox simulation is to be trusted. The second lesson is not to watch out for any of the world superpowers, to watch out for Saudi Arabia instead. They've been controlling things from the shadows. They're taking things over. Okay, so the Australia, Jamaica, Mexico, United States, Canada war ended. These guys are all allied. I'm pretty sure Indonesia, Australia, and Marshall Islands are all allied. Okay, everybody, it has turned into a real stalemate. It has gone on for about 200 years with nothing changing. Everything is basically the same. So I am going to go ahead and speed things up here by changing the land around. I'm going to make some land connections between everything here and see what happens. Okay, now that everything is connected by land, we should be able to see things happen, right? I tried to make certain that ships could still get through in quite a few places, although that is not the same way as it is on our real planet, and I kind of just want to see someone take over the world. Alrighty, that seems to have sped things up a bit. Now, the king of Saudi Arabia wants to declare war on somebody. Against Canada. He's gonna try and take over Canada. Let's see what happens. Well, the Canadians are actually winning so far. They've just got a couple hundred people on this land strip I added, and they just took over. I don't think that's what's going to happen in the long term, because Saudi Arabia certainly has more people than that. And Jamaica is actually attacking the Republic of Congo, because remember, all these guys are allied, and Saudi Arabia and Congo are allied. And now they're going back to peace, and nothing really changed. It's pretty much the same. Saudi Arabia is breaking an alliance. Let's see what happens now. Probably their alliance with the Republic of Congo? Saudi Arabia wants to declare some more war. Let's see what happens. Yep, they broke their alliance with Congo, and now they're taking them over. Ooh, they're just flooding in there. Overall, massive world population loss, but now Saudi Arabia has all of Africa, they have all of Europe, they got Russia, they've got China. They do still need to take over India, but I think they're still allied with Laos. Marshall Islands is gone. They're just completely gone. I think they starved to death. Saudi Arabia going back to war with Canada. Let's see what happens. And Jamaica is fighting back against them, obviously, here, because these guys are all allied, and Jamaica is losing a lot of population. But Saudi Arabia is a huge nation. They've got more population than all of these guys combined, but all of them combined are still a threat. Indonesia? No, that is Canada that took over that south tip there, the South Africa area. Saudi Arabia is not winning this war right now. They are actually losing more population than these guys are. That's quite interesting. Oh my gosh, Canada took over all that land. Are they gonna keep it? No, I don't think so. It's gone again. Saudi Arabia does not have a strong grip on all the land that they hold, and that is a problem because that means that these other nations can land ships there. Whereas these nations do have a strong grip on the land that they hold, and they are holding this strip over here very well, where they could come over by land. And oh, maybe this is why they were having a struggle here. It seems Indonesia is probably fighting Saudi Arabia here. So Saudi Arabia is kind of getting pincered from both sides here, and that is just not a fun time for them. Saudi Arabia taking over the top strip. They didn't take it over. They actually annihilated all the citizens there. So this is not even habitable territory right now. Saudi Arabia has almost gained all of its population back, even though they were below 1,000 people at one point. I kind of thought we were going to see Canada go ahead and take over this whole side of the planet, but things just went back to the way they were. And Saudi Arabia looks to have built up strong enough defenses here in Africa now that they are actually able to hold it. Jamaica is not able to just drop people off anymore and take over a chunk of Africa repeatedly. Okay, this still isn't getting anywhere. They don't seem to know how to use the land pass very well, so I'm gonna do something crazy. I'm gonna go ahead and add a soil path right between the middle of Africa here and the middle of the United States. Let's see what happens. If they can't figure out how to use that one, I don't know what to tell you.
2,000 years later.
War is not going anywhere. I need to change some more things up and see what happens. And if it still doesn't work, I need to keep changing things up. There we go. That actually changed things. Saudi Arabia has now taken over the top of Jamaica. Jamaica seemed to be the one that actually wanted to send troops in and do things like that. So now things are actually happening. Mexico is taking this land back over though. Oh, they were trying at least. Now the Saudi Arabians are coming in. They repelled the attack there, and they're also trying to take over Jamaica, but not being too successful. Mexico went ahead and took back over some of the land that used to be Jamaica. Jamaica is now gone. United States took back over the bottom, but Saudi Arabia's population is still up, and Saudi Arabia is still in the fight for it. Saudi Arabia now has all of South America, but it is still hotly contended, Mexico trying to take it back over. They still aren't going for the mainland of the United States or Antarctica or Canada or anything like that. I don't know why they aren't doing that, but they just don't want to. They did send some troops in here, but the United States just fights them off fiercely every time they try and get in there. And now Mexico is taking back over this land that used to be Jamaica. Well, we'll see what happens here. This war has been going on for almost a millennia now. We really do need to see a victor. I want to see, you know, just someone go ahead and win already. That is a large army from Saudi Arabia. It looks like they're going to take out all of the Mexican army here, and we're going to see what happens. They're also taking over the rest of South America from America. Please don't let it go to a stalemate again. I just want to see something happen here. Oh, they didn't take it back. They actually annihilated it. That is a change. We'll see what happens. Saudi Arabia putting a massive army into the United States, but it just didn't do anything. The population density of the United States over here is crazy, and they have so many armies over here. Saudi Arabia is sending in a huge army into the United States-owned Antarctic. We'll see what happens here. It looks like Saudi Arabia is winning this battle here, but I think they have more soldiers deeper in. They are taking over a chunk of the land, it seems, but nope, there comes the United States, bigger portion of the army, and they have repelled the attack. Huge battle brewing down here in the Antarctic. But they have to actually squash Mexico if they want to hold this area. Eventually, they should just run them out of people, right? And then they take them over. They took over Mexico. Things are changing. Things have changed. Canada took over South America. Canada took over the Mexican area. And now Saudi Arabia's coming back in, taking it over again. Oh, they were unsuccessful. They did not make it on that one. But things have changed. There is no more Mexico anymore. Saudi Arabia is sending in a huge army to the United States mainland, and the United States has already been hurt by Saudi Arabia. United States losing actual large amounts of people, but Canada came in to save them. It's interesting how Laos, Indonesia, Australia, all these guys over here have not gotten involved in the war at all. They're just chilling over here. Saudi Arabia taking over South America again. This just keeps happening over and over. And it looks like they're taking over the United States. That is a big change. The United States up top got taken over. Not the Antarctic Circle though. Now Canada took back over the United States. Canada has this whole North American hemisphere now. But it looks like Saudi Arabia is taking it back. Truly, it looks like Saudi Arabia is the one winning this war because they are the ones actually making some quote-unquote progress. Even though it keeps flipping back and forth, they are the ones taking out this area here. United States became uninhabitable. That's how many civilians were killed there. They're quickly taking the area back over with all those houses that are run down there that they can re-inhabit. Most of United States and Mexico are gone again now though. They need to actually capitalize though, and they're not deciding to capitalize, they're deciding to make peace. And they made peace. Now they're breaking an alliance with someone. Saudi Arabia could be going after Laos, Indonesia, Australia. That could be a game changer for them if they take over some more territory on their own side. Saudi Arabia starting a new war. They're going after Canada again. Re-inhabiting? Canada sending in hundreds of troops into Saudi Arabia, but it looks like Saudi Arabia is taking most of them out. Saudi Arabia also trying to go after the United States through this bottom path, but they just keep getting repelled every time they go in there. Do keep in mind now though, the United States does not have reinforcement troops to send back. Canada took back over South America, and Saudi Arabia wants peace now. They took back over this land, and they're actually holding it this time, and they declared peace already. Saudi Arabia declared peace at just the right time. Now they have South America and Mexico. They can build their population up, and they can probably go after these Canadians and the United States again later. It looks like they're going back to war, but this time they've had some time to hold it. Whoa, 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 whoa. You're telling me that Canada and Saudi Arabia teamed up now to take out Indonesia. They're just sick of their neutrality. They don't want any more of that. And now Saudi Arabia got to take over that land. Saudi Arabia wants to go to war again. What's gonna happen here? They're going after Australia. This is some good battle tactics by them. Take over your side of the world before going after their side of the world, right? Australia does not have a chance here against Saudi Arabia. They just do not have the population. There goes Australia. United States still has a little naval base over here, so that does still exist. They also have their little naval base over here, and And France still exists right here. Remember, France is not in Europe anymore. It's this little island over here. Laos is still around. No one really seems to care. Saudi Arabia declaring war again. Maybe they'll get rid of Laos, or maybe they go after the big guys now. They're going after the big guys. They're going after the United States, which means there's gonna be some warring here. But I think this is as good as over now. South America, they've had some time to shore up and actually build some armaments there so that they can actually hold on to it. Canada trying to come in and take over South America. It looks like they're succeeding, but they are losing a lot of army for that. Will they actually succeed, or will Saudi Arabia hold South America? United States took over South America. Okay, let's see what happens. And now it's uninhabitable. Saudi Arabia looks like it is successfully taking over part of Canada, at least. They're also successfully taking over part of the United States. All of the United States, it looks like, all of their main land. Now the United States is just over here. This is looking real good for Saudi Arabia. They're declaring peace now so they can go ahead, shore things up again. Ooh, these Saudi Arabians are getting sneaky. Canada taking over South America here, though. This is still in Saudi Arabia's favor, though. I think they've gained more land after that last war. They also have Australia now, Indonesia. They still haven't taken out Laos, but we'll see what happens. They're going back to war now. They're going after the United States. And the United States and Canada are still allied, so that means they're going after Canada as well. They're taking over South America, uninhabitable again. And there are just a few soldiers fighting down here, but it isn't the type of army yet that needs to take over the United States. Looks like they're succeeding anyways, though. Just need one more quadrant, right? Ooh, are they gonna get it, or are they not? Even if I get this, though, the United States still isn't out of the game. They would still have these two islands. I don't think that Saudi Arabia would take both of those over if they took over this area. They did take over South America, though, and it looks like they've got people in there to hold it even. Canada could take it back. It isn't held very well ever, it seems, but we're just not seeing that happen. Canada is not being that aggressive. Oh, that's because I went to peace times. Going back to war now, let's see what happens. Canada is taking over this strip here. They're trying to take over the north, failing, taking over the south, succeeding. Now South America is split up. Canada has definitely gained some ground. If they can take over the United States, though, which it looks like they're succeeding at because the United States has barely any people left, and remember, the United States isn't just here. They got a couple people here, a couple people over here. So the United States barely has anyone left. And Saudi Arabia took this land back over, but they lost the north now. And now they're declaring peace after getting rid of the United States. Saudi Arabia looks to be the big winner today in that war. Okay, Canada has got a massive army going after Saudi Arabia. They're looking to take over this entire middle strip, and they have taken it successfully. They're also building a large army up here, it seems, but they aren't really using it for anything. Saudi Arabia came back in here, attacked their army, and it made the land uninhabitable. No civilians left. They're also trying to take over this northern strip up here, and it looks like they're succeeding at that. How long are these guys going to succeed for, though? Because look at how big Saudi Arabia's armies get. When they actually send some of those in, it's going to be an entirely different deal. Part of South America being taken over by the Canadians. Part of Canada looks to be being taken over. Saudi Arabia is sending in a massive army into the North Americas. This war is so large, it's starting to lag the game out. I can't even run it on Sonic speed anymore. Looks like they've utterly demolished all of Canada's armies. Canada does not have anything truly to fight back with now. But Saudi Arabia's army that is left in Canada now, not very large either, so I don't think they're able to take over the land yet without sending in more troops. They still have to kill the king as well here, it seems, and the kings in this game have so much health and such good gear on. You can see he's getting juggled around here and just absolutely destroyed. And it looks like they're not going to successfully take over the land because they don't have enough troops to occupy it. What's going to happen here is they're going to exterminate everyone in these areas, and it's going to become uninhabitable land. And they are making distance now. It looks like they're taking over the land. There they go. Okay, now we know how this is gonna go. I'm not just gonna leave it running forever. What I'm going to do is take this and I'm going to make Saudi Arabia target the remaining nations. They just have so much more population. There goes Laos. And then let's have Saudi Arabia take out, next, let's say France. They didn't really participate in any of this. Let's just get rid of France, right? There we go. You got hundreds of people in here coming to attack France, take it over. It's been taken over. Now we're going to whisper of war them against the United States. And I did not think that Saudi Arabia would be the one to win this. I thought, you know, maybe something like Russia, China. Did not think Saudi Arabia would win this. United States coming in second, that doesn't surprise me. And here come those armies, and that is it for them after they take out these areas. Now, I don't think this game ever would have ended if I did not connect them by land. The naval battles in this game just do not work quickly and they just don't happen. So sometimes you gotta connect them by land. That said, that is the battle for the world between 140 countries. If you liked this video, make certain to subscribe to this channel. I'm a fairly new channel